Hi there. Today I want to talk about a sneaky saboteur of high notes. Articulating voiced consonants from the wrong place can kill your high notes. Enunciating these sounds tightly is a very common limiter of vocal range and resonance. So let's talk about why and what we can do about it. High notes require the vocal apparatus to stretch and thin the vocal folds or vocal cords and need a relaxed open throat channel to allow the high frequencies to resonate where they're most comfortable. Tension in the base or root of the tongue, as well as tension in the soft palate and jaw, can override the free movement of the larynx and tighten down the throat channel, interfering with where the frequencies of sound can resonate. Guess what voiced consonants can do if you don't create them just right? All right, let's back up a bit. What are voiced consonants? They're consonants that use vocal cord vibration, which is why they're called voiced. They're sounded, as opposed to unvoiced consonants, which are articulated with tiny little puffs of breath. It's a whole other subject, but that's where popped P's and T's come from when you don't control that breath. All right, here's a quick list of voiced and unvoiced consonants. Voiced consonants. B, as in the word be. D, as in the word do. G, as in gone. J, as in Jerry. V, as in van. W, as in wide. Z, as in zoo. L, as in lie. M, as in may. N, as in now. And ng, or ng, as in sting. R, as in road. Y, as in yay. All right, here are the unvoiced consonants, or some of them. P, as in P. T, as in two. K, which can be either made with a C or a K, as in con. Ch, as in cherry. P, as in fan. X, as in tax. And S, as in Sue, that little sibilant one. I plan on doing another post on the problem of gluing unvoiced consonants so they sound like voiced consonants. Not good. Also from a tight jaw and tongue. If you want to dig a little farther, check out a great resource from Phonics Pal. I'll leave a link to it in the notes. Now, back to voiced consonants. How not to articulate them. Don't form these consonants at the back of your mouth and jaw. Here are signs that you're doing that. You aren't opening or moving your jaw very much. Your tongue is bulking up at the back or the root. Your larynx is over raising for high notes. Your high notes feel strained and sound tight and thin. Okay, so what do we do about all that? Here are some secrets to articulating voiced consonants on high notes. When they're in the middle of words, actually, don't articulate them. And what I mean by that is just minimize or insinuate them instead of over-defining them. Up there, they'll sound right. Let me demonstrate. Please note for copyright purposes that I'm just going to use some random phrases I made up for this post, except for one phrase from a song of mine. We're going to start with the phrase, "Don't harden your heart," which has 3 pesky saboteur R's in it. All right? First way, don't harden your heart. Okay, that's not even that high, but it still doesn't feel very good. Let's loosen that up. Don't harden your heart. Sounds a whole lot better. Another phrase, let's try, Help me, I can't hide the fire. All right, that L. Okay, first way. Help me, I can't hide the fire. Second way. Help me, I can't hide the fire. Help me, I can't hide the fire is kind of what I said, but I bet you didn't notice it. Okay, in the middle of lines, if there's a voiced consonant on the end of a word in the middle of the line, try putting it on the front of the next word and use it to pop that next word open, not closed. For instance, instead of going out of my mind, we could make going out of my mind. All right? Going out of my mind could end up going out of my mind. And loosening up going out even loosened up the final word mind. So if you get something right in the earlier part of the phrase, sometimes it helps the end. Let me do that again. Going out of my mind. Pay special attention to N's, R's, and L's because they are known tongue root grabbers. Here's a phrase with all of them in it, all three. Behind the red line. All right? We could sing it, behind the red line. Or we could loosen it up. Behind the red line. Now, there's a special little ninja trick that I use sometimes for telling myself not to tense there, and that's taking two fingers and putting it right into that tongue base there under your chin, and just intend. You're not doing anything with your fingers. It's a brain flashlight, and just intend not to tense there. All right? Pay double special attention to minimize and loosen any cluster of voiced consonants, and by that I mean two or more of these potential saboteurs in a row. For instance, the line, "You're glowing like a lightning bug." Full of saboteurs. All right, here's one way to do it. You're glowing like a lightning bug. Here's another way. You're glowing like a lightning bug. Much better. And lastly, don't overcorrect. Yes, we are borrowing a bit from classical technique in that we're letting vowels remain more open longer. However, don't overcorrect so that your style sounds too formal if it's contemporary. To illustrate with my song again, if you overdo it, you could sound like, buy a one-way ticket on a westbound train. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Let's try it this way and let some of those voiced consonants creep back in. Buy a one-way ticket on a westbound train. And that was a balance of just enough voiced consonants in there to define it more contemporarily than formally. I've found one of the best ways to keep this just right is to keep a little chewing motion rather constantly going in my jaw. That keeps us from over-tightening, but it keeps your articulation sounding authentic for contemporary genres instead of formal. Okay, please hit subscribe for my channel, and if you try any of this, please let me know in the comments how it works for you. And if you really want to dig into great vocal techniques for studio and stage, check out my Power Path and Performance course at my website. See you for another vocal technique or performance ninja tip, recording secret, songwriting strategy, or career expert interview. Next time on All Things Vocal, the podcast for voices with messages that matter, like yours.